Oh, yeah, that's not gonna work.
What?
I wanna see my face, bitch.
Oh, this ice was really... To be honest, I really do not know. Okay, the fuck? I somehow forgot about aperture. Okay, we can film now. A year filming and then I forgot about everything. Okay. Hi. Remember that time when I recorded a video and told everybody that, oh, I am going to post more because I have summer vacation coming up, and a year's passed and I'm not even in Korea anymore? Let me try this again. I couldn't really make any videos, guys. But tonight, I do have some time. And I do have something that, something pretty significant to me at least, that I want to talk about, so I will get right into it. Today, the topic that we're going to tackle is about friendships. I did this twice. This has been like a really heavy topic that has been weighing on my mind for a long time, actually a lot longer than today. It's just been kind of like an on and off battle, I guess, with myself. But I feel like these days it feels like it's come to a head, and I don't know, I just kind of feel like I want to address it because I feel like it's not talked often. Although I guess the discourse has started to pick up about this. I've seen more content redefining what friendships actually mean rather than what it's usually portrayed. And I resonate with that, and it got me into thinking again. I guess this video sort of wants to contribute to that discourse about like what friendships truly mean, because friendships are a big deal to me. I'm a very relationship oriented person, and I appreciate the people that come in my life, and I feel like these days, in terms of like platonic friends, more specifically, I guess I'm talking more like girl besties, squad, fam life, that kind of friendships. I'm focusing more on like girl on girl friendships, but it could be more general. You know what I mean. I'll just say it. Friendships are fucking complicated. And for the longest time, I thought it's supposed to be easy, or at least it's supposed to be obvious who are your acquaintances, who is supposed to be just your regular everyday friends, and who's your closer friends, and then who's your best friends forever and ever until you fucking die, that kind of type of deal. I thought that was obvious, and then I hate to be the cliche here, but honestly, a big part of it is, you guessed it, media. Of course, media, it terrifies me to this point, like the effect that it has on a lot of aspects of our lives. But I've realized that all of these years I've been trying to mimic what the media defines as like friendships. If you look at films, sitcoms, TV shows, just anything, without fail, there's always that one friend character who's the protagonist's best friend, right? And it's either like one-on-one type of best friend, or it's like an exclusive group of friends, like an exclusive group of 3 or group of 4. You know what I mean? It's like Lily and Miley, right? Or SpongeBob and Patrick, or Bella Thorne and Zendaya and Shake It Up. I don't remember their names. Harry Potter, Harry, Hermione, and Ron. Stranger Things, right? Like Will, Dustin. I'm gonna look it up. Mike, Will, Dustin, Lucas, right? It's always like this exclusive group of friends, or this one-on-one best friend. There's always this idea that there are someone or a group of someones that will constantly have your back, no matter where you are, no matter how long you're like apart, no matter what. You always have this person constantly right beside you. And the most fucked up thing that I did is I subconsciously let myself believe that that's the way friendship should work. I mean, it doesn't necessarily look like that in real life, but a lot of the friendships today kind of sort of mimic that also. But I do believe that friendships are not that black and white. It's not just like, oh, A and B and they're together, or C, D, and E, they're together. I do believe that it's not that simple. And these friends character, they're just characters. They're meant to represent friendships. They're meant to extort something from the protagonist, right? Whether it's like trying to extort their humanity side, or trying to make them express their internalized problems, or be the comedic relief, or whatever. They have a purpose because they're supposed to be characters, and you don't have a bunch of friendship like friends characters because that's just a waste of time and you can't focus on a lot of people. That's why they only have a few, but that's not how real life goes. I think friendships are a lot more nuanced than that. It's sad because like of this idea, I internalized it, and then I remember so very vividly until today, I strive to have this figure of a best friend in my life. And I guess I have struggled with like friends ever since I was small. I remember when I was in kindergarten, my mom had to make like an album that I could like share to classmates of mine in my class so that they could fill it in, and then we could share contacts, and then I could call them, you know, stuff like that, because my mom wanted me to have friends. Yikes. So I guess, yeah, it was a pretty rough start, but it's not all that bad. Like, I was happy in elementary school, and then I remember I had like best friend, we'll call her Amy, when I was in 6th grade, and we were, I don't know, I went by her house like a lot of times to watch Korean dramas, and it was really fun. I told her about my crushes and stuff like that. It was really fun. And then come middle school, we had to break apart, and I tried visiting her at her school, but then before long we kind of drifted apart, and then now she's just kind of like strangers. I don't even see her on my Instagram anymore. And then I think a more pivotal moment for me is when I was in 9th grade. I had this other group of friends, like comprised of 4. And then when high school rolled over after 9th grade, 2 of the girls from this friend group sort of drifted apart because they went to different schools, and it's left me and this other girl, we'll call her Rosie. And I was determined to make Rosie like my other half, you know? And so for the next 3 years, because she was never in the same class as I was, along those 3 years, every recess I would go by her place, her class. I would eat my meal there. I would hang out with her because I didn't want to lose her. I even went by to her place and we had a sleepover. She also went by to my place once and we had another sleepover at my house. And we went on a road trip with my parents, the whole 9 yards. I don't know. I mean, we had some things in common. But then even I realized this at some point when I was going to her class at recess, just like usual. I remember like a dreading feeling because I don't really know what to talk about with her. But I kept doing it until one day I realized she just left me for like another group of girls that she has way more in common with. That was like the very first moment where I thought, oh, you can't force someone to care about you if they actually don't. It's just like, it's weird. It's like my first experience of being like dumped by a friend, which is kind of hard. But like not long after that, I kind of reconnected with my older friend, the one I knew even before her. Let's call her like, I don't know, Lily. I reconnected with this Lily, and not long after I kind of broke up with Rosie and we hit it off. I don't know, I felt like I was lucky, so maybe it's not Rosie, it's Lily, and I've known her longer, and for a long time she does feel like my other half. We talk on multiple platforms, social media platforms. We share everything. We share embarrassing stories, problems sometimes. We talk about memes. We talk about the most random stuff. We laugh together, and we went on trips together. On a trip, actually. We've never been more than one. But overall, she was the closest thing, I feel like, to having this idea of a best friend. We even talk a lot about like weddings and stuff, and how we promise each other we would be each other's like maid of honors when we both love like wedding dresses. That's another thing. which is really cool because nobody just talks about that. But she and I, we talk about that a lot of times. So I don't know. I feel like she and I have this like weird bond that we have. And even then, the closest thing that I thought to having a best friend, even that feels like it's also falling apart these days. We barely talk these days, and I don't know, just overall, I just feel like there's this wall that just suddenly is there, and it really feels like it's a slow death. And I've known this girl like almost a decade, and to realize that a friendship is maybe ending is a little heartbreaking, because I don't know, maybe I didn't think that this would have happened with Lily, but maybe it is, like right now. And this is like something that I have to deal with ever since I went back home. I didn't know that this was gonna happen. There were 7 of us. Me and 6 other girls went to South Korea for a program. And all of us 7 have our own lives. And we sort of dumped them when we jumped on that plane to go overseas. And, you know, when you're in a foreign country, you sort of just like stick with your own herd, you know, you kind of stick with your own people. So these girls, they're my squad, they're my people in Korea, and that's that. It's easy that way. Yes, we have other relations, we have other people that we hang out with, but us, this group, we stick together because we're thrown in this predicament. And we did bond. It's not just circumstantial, we did bond because we go through the same exact shit, like from day one till the end. So they're like my sisters. But then when we went home, the circle breaks and we go back to our regular circles, if you know what I mean. We went back to the people that were with us before we jumped on that plane to be together. It really feels like I'm starting over in terms of friendship. I didn't realize that when I left them for a year, of course I realized this, but I didn't realize it in this way, you know? I didn't realize that they continue to have their life here, separate from whatever I was doing in Korea, because it's never going to be relatable, what I'm going through and what they're going through. So it's like me and all of my other friends were like this, and my friends and the other friends, they can still communicate, they can still get together, and so they can continue on living this friendship without me in it. And then I got back home, and then I realized that I have to play catch up with a lot of them, and it's just sad because I just feel like an astronaut who just came back, and I didn't really like know everybody just got old and weird, and I can't really relate to any of them. That is kind of what it's felt like for the past like 3 months, almost 4 months, and it's been kind of lonely. These past months have also like got me to thinking, redefining what friendships truly mean, because again, I was subconsciously kind of like infused with an idea of what it means, and then these past few years have forced me to think about it in a different way, that maybe it doesn't have to look like that, because friendships, there are like different types of them, different kinds. It looks different to certain people. There are actually friends who have been friends since they were kids, and they still are friends. Like, they are still good friends until today, and they still get together from time to time, and they still have heart-to-hearts and regularly update each other. I don't doubt that there is that kind of friendships, but then there are also friendships who they've never been to each other's houses. They don't even know each other's emails or phone numbers, but they text regularly and they share memes, or I don't know, they talk about life stories, and they hop on a phone call just like that to share about their day, no strings attached. There are the type of friendships who celebrate each other's birthdays like a religion. They would try to give something, and then there are others who don't give a shit, but then if you want to hang out with them, they're down no matter what. And then there are the kind of friendships that you don't even talk like at all. They're radio silent, but then you summon a get together, and then you get together, and then it's amazing. You laugh all night and you talk about life and philosophy and a lot of different stuff. Or there are like friendships that you drop in from time to time to share what you're up to and how you've been feeling, and then you drop out again. And then there are friendships who comes to your house like it's their second home and knows all of your family members' name and say hi to them and follow them on Instagram. Friendships look so diverse and none of them looks the same. And up until now, if it's not constant contact, it's like you have to be able to tell them everything. You have to be able to confide in them, cry with them, laugh with them, call them every day, text them every day. You have to have been to their house at least once. You know their email, you know their birthdays, of course. You know their family, and you celebrate each other's birthdays like every year, and it's always festive and it's always loud and it's always like physical. If it's not like that, then it's not real friendship. That's the way I see it. That's not real best friendship. And maybe some part of me still thinks like that. Because, I don't know, in order to be really good friends with someone, there has to be some level of intimacy established with them. But then also, the more I think about it, and having listened to like a lot of people share their own perspectives, granted, they're probably not at all experts, but I mean, people have friends. All of them have friends, and they all share their perspectives and opinions on things. And I realized maybe things don't have to look like that, and maybe that's okay. I grew up with this idea that a single person or an exclusive group of people needs to be able to fulfill like all of my needs and wants and expectations and all of it, and I to them also. Maybe it's not all right. After listening to like my own friends and a lot of other people, each person has their own perspectives on what they think friendship look like, and they also like each of them have their own goals with their friendships. And it may look different. It's not dependent on like each person and the way they see like all of their friendships per se. It's also like different per friend of that person. That person could want you a certain way but want another in a different level of intimacy. So it's really relative, and I just really want to hone in this idea that a relationship with a friend does not have to look, at least like a good relationship with a friend does not have to look exactly one way, which is what I have believed for a very long time, and it's fucking sad because it bothers me even until today. Also, I feel like from our own perspectives, I think it's a little bit unfair to expect a special someone or an exclusive group of people to fulfill all of your personal needs. Personally, I think Anna Akana said this in a video of hers before, and I kind of agree, because the way it is with all of my friends, I pick and choose who to go to for a specific problem. I don't just dump them on like one person. I go to person A for a philosophical question because they know how to answer that. Or I go to person B to party because she's an extrovert. I go to person C and D to talk about relationship stuff because they can give good feedbacks on that. And then person E, I just kind of hang out. It's a different kind of relationship. It's a unique relationship with each person or each group of people. And this is why I think I have like a lot of friends like here and there. It's not like this big group of people. It's like I have friends here and then I have friends there and friends there and friends there. It's scattered. And I feel like it's also because of this. Like each person has a unique relationship with me. And so if I can say this, then why am I still ranting? Because even though I feel like that's the kind of friendships that I have that are scattered, I feel like I am far away from all of them. Because again, I feel like I'm playing catch up with them, and it's been a while. And I have been keeping to myself, and that was made very easy because I was very busy with school and a lot of everything else, just adjusting back, yada 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 yada. And so it's felt like, like I'm back to square one. And I don't know who's still there, actually still there, and who's checked out. It's pretty sad. I think what confuses me about friendships is that friendships are very circumstantial. I think the weight of intimacy that you have with like your friend is very, very heavily influenced by like a lot of factors. A lot of factors. Proximity is one. Honestly, because like if you're not in the same place as someone, you're probably gonna ask help for the people who's like around you, and the people you're gonna tell stories and vent to the people who can relate to you, which is someone like your friends who are close to you. So proximity is just number one. And then there's a lot more factors than that. Situations, if you are in a similar situations with other people, you're probably going to lean on them. Like if you are in a psychological major in University A, then you're just going to hang out with those people a lot of times, right? Or if you are in a choir, or if you work in an office, you go get a beer with them right afterwards. Or, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Why just don't get beers? Friendships are very circumstantial. You have to be there at the right time, the right circumstance, the right place. And all of it's mixed together, and you are together, and you find common ground, you can get along, you'll probably be good friends. But that doesn't guarantee a lifetime companion, because with friends, with platonic friends, like you and your friends, we all have our own lives to live, we have our own goals, our own ambitions, our own values, and inevitably, most of the time, we will drift apart. And that's why friendships are like, friends can come and they go, and it's very great. Like the type of commitment that they have, it's very, very great, because you come into a friendship without any sort of condition. So that also means that you don't really get a lot of like clear commitment from them. You don't know their true intentions towards you, being your friend, being their friend. And so it's very, very easy to end also. And I think that's the thing that confuses me having a friend, because I don't know where I stand with them. I don't know how much I should pour myself into this relationship. I don't know how to properly insert myself into this kind of relationship, because it confuses me, at least these days, to choose friendship because of its low commitment, and I just don't know who's there and who's not there. I guess when you're talking about like how easy to gain them but it's also easy to lose them, it also cannot be like that. If the two of them try hard enough to actually maintain the relationship, then it will survive. But again, a lot of people have their own agendas to friendships. A lot of them have their own views on them, and they might not align with yours. You might be very passionate, and you're willing to give so much to your friends, but then your friends don't look at you the same way as you do as to them. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's tricky in the sense of like figuring out who to invest your time with and who to just sort of be laid back with, and not to take a lot of things very personally. If anything, I have learned throughout these past years about like having friends, it's also not to take things personally, because again, everyone have their own agendas, they have their own goals, and I have been on both sides of the coin. I have been deprioritized by someone with their other friends, but then I have also been on the other side of that, where I did deprioritize somebody else in favor of myself and my other friends who were closer to me. So after a lot of reflecting, I feel like it's to not take things personally. But then also, I still want to have people around me who matter, who are platonic with me. So I don't know. I guess my main takeaway from this is that I think friendships are still important. I think it's still important to have like people around you other than your family or your partners, to give like different perspectives on life, to be your voice of reason, to have fun, genuine fun, to have connections. All in all, I think relationships in any way of its manifestations are still important, whether it's filial, romantic, or even platonic. I still think it's important. And I think having gone to a different place for a year and having come back to play catch up with a lot of friends, I think it can be a blessing in disguise, in a sense that this is like a time for myself to reflect and evaluate the quality of the people around me, and will they be good for me, or do their values align with me? Am I Are they gonna help me grow? It's finding people who make sense with you, you know, and also will help them and also help me grow to be better people. I feel like this is a time to reconsider all of it, which can be scary because it raises up questions about the people that I thought is like in the safe zone, it's like in the green zone. Maybe they're not. Silver lining, I guess. It's been really eye-opening, truly, and it's scary, it's terrifying because I have learned to be, well, I'm still learning how to be comfortable with myself, and it's okay if I don't have it all figured out. Things are never the same in life, and if I try, I will find some people to surf through life with. So I'm learning to be okay starting over in terms of platonic relationships, and to be alone. I mean, I still have my boyfriend and my family, but you know what I mean. It's scary and it's confusing, but I guess I just have to be a little braver, which I think I can learn to do. I think so.